Moving is a big deal, but when you're deciding to move to a completely different place, it can feel almost overwhelming. You want to make sure that you're choosing a place that's going to be right for you both now and in the future. So how can you make sure that you're going to be happy with your move? Hi, I'm Bethany Way, and I'm a realtor with Keller Palmetto in Columbia, South Carolina. I've been helping my clients for over 18 years, so I know all the things about buying a home. If you want to make your home buying journey a lot easier, first, give me a thumbs up and like this video, and then keep listening because I'm going to give you a realtor's perspective on the big decision about where to live. The first thing that we want to ask ourselves is, how is this location going to satisfy my needs and preferences where I am right now in my life? Or also ask yourself, how is this location going to set me up for the next phase of my life or my career? How is it going to propel me forward and get me closer to where I want to be with either my personal or professional goals or both? So let's break down some of the things that you need to think about to be able to answer those questions. First, we want to think about job opportunities, because whether you're renting or buying a home, it costs money to live somewhere. And in order to have the money to pay your mortgage or pay that rent, you have to have a job. You have to have some type of income. We want to make sure that there are job opportunities for not just you, but also other working members of your household or family. It could be that an area has great job opportunities for you right now, but you know that you're going to hang out in that area for a while, take advantage of the right job opportunity for where you are in your career now, but that opportunity is going to set you up and propel you forward to the next level. And you might go somewhere else for the next level of your career. Or it could be there's an area that just has all the opportunities for both now and the future for your career path that you're pursuing. And do the research. Are there job opportunities? Are they opportunities for right now? Is this like a 3 to 5 year career opportunity? Or are there going to be opportunities for me both now and in the next part of my career? Next, we want to think about cost of living and also housing affordability. It is great to be in an area that offers you opportunities for your career and your career growth, but we also need to make sure that those opportunities are going to pay you enough money to afford the cost of living. And in this remote digital age where a lot of people are able to work remotely and work from home, it's really opened up a lot of doors and a lot of avenues to consider living somewhere outside of the geographical boundaries of where you currently work. And that is great. It's wonderful, but we need to make sure that our job opportunity and the income it provides us is going to allow us to live in that location and live comfortably. We don't want to be house poor or rental poor. We want to have money to plan for the future, plan for unexpected events, and to also just enjoy life where we are now. So do your research. Look at what the cost of living is. How much is gas in that area? What do groceries cost? What is the average rent or housing cost and mortgage payment attached to that? Is that something that within my means and my current income at my career level and my position, is that something that I am able to afford and still enjoy life? Do you have access to your social and lifestyle preferences? And that can be anything from dating to leisure activities to what your spiritual needs are. If you are someone who loves to be outdoors and it is a priority for you to have lots of outdoor activities to do in your spare time, and then you go move to a very metropolitan urban area and you are a long way from those types of activities, maybe that location is not the best fit for you. If you are single and you're wanting to date and possibly build a life and build a future with someone, are you considering what the statistics are in your area for people like you that would be interested in attempting to date around and maybe, meet their life partner or, their spouse moving forward? Are there organizations? Are there churches or synagogues or mosques or other spiritual houses of worship that align with your religious beliefs or your spiritual beliefs and your needs? Are those going to be supported? Is there a community where that aspect of your life can be nurtured and supported, moving forward while you live there? Relationships are really important. And, that is something that you need to consider when you are examining areas to move to. Piggybacking off that, we also want to think about if that area is within a reasonable proximity to the things that matter to you. That's going to be your job, friends, your family, and fun. And a lot of people that are relocating, they kind of don't always think about the friends and family part. So, if you are accustomed to living on the East Coast and then you get a job opportunity that would take you out to the West Coast, but all of your family's back on the East Coast, have you stopped to consider how you really feel about that? How easy or how difficult is it going to be for you to have access to your family and your family to have access to you when you're on opposite sides of the country? If you're accustomed to seeing your family on a daily or weekly basis and then you relocate to the other part of the country and then you only get to see them a couple of holidays a year, that is a really dynamic change in your life. And I think it's wise to just take a step back and consider how that might impact you, how that might impact your emotional and your mental and your spiritual health. And if you think that logistically that is doable for you, do you have not only the time, but the financial means to be able to make that travel back and forth between your new life and your friends and family that are back home a few times a year so that, you can stay connected and, still see each other and enjoy spending time together? We definitely want to think about where we're living kind of on a more smaller level, like part of town or what neighborhood we're living in terms of the proximity to what we're going to be doing on a daily and a weekly basis. If you want to be close to certain leisure and lifestyle activities, but it's going to mean an hour-long commute for you to get to work 5 days a week, is that really the best spot for you? Would it maybe be better to find something closer to your job and be 45 minutes from your leisure activities on the weekend because you're only doing that 2 days a week? Or would it be better to maybe find the right neighborhood or location somewhere in between the two? So that you're, kind of splitting the difference and kind of being maybe 30 minutes from work or 30 minutes from fun or whatever that may be, whether it's a 10-minute commute or an hour-long commute. You really want to think about your daily and your weekly routine. Where do you normally like to go? What do you normally do? How far do you want to be from that on a daily and a weekly basis? And start researching areas that are going to support that commuting time for you. Medical and educational needs. I feel like there's always a ton of focus on educational needs. It's pretty easy to read anything real estate related that tells you about how important the quality of the school system is for resale value, even if you don't have children. And yes, that's important. People with children are seeking out great school systems and great individual schools, but a lot of people overlook thinking about medical care. How close are you to quality doctors and medical providers? And that's not to say that you need some type of highly specialized critical care, but what about the basics? Are you able to find a great dentist? Are you able to find a good OBGYN? Can you find a great primary care physician, eye doctor? Nobody wants to commute, even though you only go a few times a year. Like, nobody wants to drive an hour to go to the doctor. I grew up in a really small town and we didn't have great medical care. And I would venture to say our medical care is still not that great, but we would have to drive an hour to Charleston, South Carolina for almost any kind of medical local doctor appointment we needed. So our eye doctor was in Charleston. Our primary care physician was in Charleston. We were very, very lucky. We had our cousin is a dentist and he practiced in our hometown. So we had a local dentist, but that was literally the only medical provider that was in our hometown. Otherwise, we were commuting an hour to Charleston just to go see the doctor. So I think it's really important to put some thought and some focus into that, making sure that, your medical needs are met, because you're not the only one with medical needs and educational needs. There are other residents of the area also need that as well. You also really want to consider just the general vibe of the area. What is the vibe and the feel of the neighborhood and the overall area that it's in? What are the architectural styles of the home? What's the style of the neighborhood? Does that kind of vibe with your personal taste, your personal preferences, and what you're looking for? If you love older homes and you just think like craftsman style bungalows are awesome and you want that big front porch, you want a sidewalk community that can take you places, and you want mature landscaping, unique style of homes, but everything in the area is only 5 years old and they keep slapping them up 2 months at a time in these new home communities where literally every house looks the same, that's probably not going to be the best area for you. Your personal preferences are not aligning with the vibe and style of like the home and neighborhood that you're looking for. So you really need to sit back and take some time to think about, is this really what I'm looking for? And if it's not, are you willing to make a shorter term compromise? I'm not saying you have to live there for 20 years, but maybe you compromise on the vibe and the style of the home in the area to make a little 3 to 5 year short-term pit stop in a location that might not be quite what you want. Are you willing and able to do that? And if you're not, that's okay. You just need to do a little bit more research on areas that are going to be a better fit for your style preferences. We also want to think about future resale value. Yes, education systems, school systems really do play a big role in this, but something else that plays a very large role is the economic activity. From a business economic standpoint, what's going on in the area? Are there new businesses coming in? Are there businesses leaving on a regular basis? Is there new construction of residential and business spaces in the area? Are there locally owned businesses popping up? Are you kind of walkable or bikeable to fun leisure activities? Are there lots of festivals and events in the area? Like, what is going on in the area where you live? Is it like a lively, like hopping, kind of jumping area? Or does it feel like every couple weeks as you're driving down the road, you're seeing new businesses closing, or you're just seeing lots of dilapidated properties or properties and businesses that are just not being well maintained, or you just notice that no one's really visiting and interacting with, the businesses and places and activities in the community. People generally want to have things to do. And I think if you see that kind of business economic activity being strong or in a really strong development phase of its life in an area that you're considering, that's a really good indication that you're going to see property values come up over time. Regardless of where you're considering moving, moving itself is a process that can feel like a lot, but it doesn't have to be something that you walk into blindly. This is why I would love to share my e-guide, Find My Way Home, with you. This e-guide educates home buyers just like you about the biggest and scariest financial decision that you are ever going to make. It walks you through every step of the home buying process, and that allows you to come to the table prepared and confident that you are making the right choice, not only in where you live, but also in what home you buy. Buying a home is stressful enough, and you do not want to be trying to figure this out on the fly, especially when it's time to make an offer on your dream home. If you are ready to get clear about buying a home, I want to make your home buying experience a lot easier. Head over to findmywayhome.how and get your guide now.